Hello, all of my beautiful friends. It is so lovely to see you on this absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous day. If you've seen my thumbnail, then you know that this video is all about just too tired to care. And I want to just share these 4 makeup products that will really just freshen up your look, that are easy when you're completely exhausted with life. Now, many of you may not know, but I am a healthcare professional and I work in a hospital, and I've been doing it for many, many years. And working shift work is no joke, but it's not the only exhausting thing in one's life. Of course, there are many jobs out there. I know that you all work and they all have their pros and cons, but many are kind of that combination of physical and mental sort of exhaustion. So this video is really tailored for you to just kind of have a slightly elevated look to it, in the sense that it just makes you feel a little bit more fresh. But it is just 4 makeup products that are worth mentioning in the 50 plus category, because if you're like me, you're kind of at the tail end of a career and you're kind of getting to that stage where I am, where you're not so far away from retirement and you're just getting physically bogged down and tired with all of life's responsibilities. So let's just get into what I consider to be 4 products that I just think are worth mentioning, that will really help you to sort of put on a bit of a fresh face and that aren't going to exhaust you in the process. So if you know me, you know that I like things that are very simplistic, and I always want to talk about the base products or the heavy hitters, and really that is foundation, if you will. Foundation and concealer to me are the 2 big sort of heavy hitters that do the bulk of your, makeup when you think about makeup or trying to freshen up your face. And there's going to be lots of steps missed because it's literally just 4 products. So I should preface this just by saying that today I have put my makeup on because it is almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the Sunday, and I was inspired to do this because this morning, as I was getting ready on a day off, I was just like, I'm just too tired to care. I didn't want to put on a whole face. I didn't want to do the whole thing. How can I just make this simple for everybody? Let's talk about the foundation. So the foundation today is just one of those heavy hitters that you just need to incorporate into your makeup routine when you're just too exhausted to care. What works for me, and these are tried and tested products. So I want to talk about first the Cream Foundation 6. So my favorite happens to be the Minimalist by Merit. Now I'm going to preface this by saying it's my favorite cream foundation, but I do have to say it is a little bit pricey for what you get. So you decide if you want to spend the kind of money that's required to buy Merit or not, but I will show you a drugstore priced alternative. But what I like about the Merit, and I'll just show you by swatching, is it is just like, first of all, it's like a stilo or pen-shaped design. So a few swipes, you put that on, and then really you just take your fingers or you take a brush or a kabuki brush, and then you just blend it in. And it is just like a soft matte. It's what I have on today. And I just put it basically 4 swipes on my forehead, cheeks, and chin. And like I said, just blend it out. To me, it is just absolutely so soft, so pretty, and it just kind of takes away a little bit of the redness of the skin and just kind of gives me an even canvas for adding on the other products that will follow. The alternative that is drugstore price would be the ColourPop, and this is also their cream foundation. I do really like it. I would still say that the Merit Minimalistic 4-in-1 Skin Foundation Stick is my favorite, only because it's a little less oily than this one, but I don't have a problem with oily skin. So the oiliness wouldn't be my first pick, because if I'm doing this and going to the hospital, I wear like masks oftentimes full PPE, especially for isolation patients, and then anything that has a lot of slip to it is literally going to just wear off. So this is great for every day. It's the same idea, but much less price point, and you can see it's very creamy. Again, just a brush. You could use a sponge or your fingers, and it just really just blends in. It's super, super soft, and like it's not quite half the price of Merit, but almost. It's a really good option. So check into that. Okay, so now that you have done kind of the heavy hitter, you've kind of like canceled out all the redness, you've kind of just have an even canvas, you want to address kind of the eye area because, of course, the neck and the eyes are going to kind of give away your age, at least what I find anyways, when you're looking at women in the 50 plus category. And for me, that's not so much discoloration, but it's certainly bags, it's certainly crow's feet, it's certainly crepey, wrinkly skin. And while that is just a part of like getting older, you can make it a little bit better. And I think the quick and easiest way for the actual concealing of the eyes, again, I don't have a lot of discoloration, but just in the inner tear duct area, the inner eye, it is like bluey gray. And so if I didn't have anything on, it just kind of tends to kind of make the eyes look tired and muddy. And especially if I just applied foundation, it doesn't really match. My favorite product, again, it's another cream product, big surprise, but this is the Bobbi Brown Color Corrector concealer. And so what I did was I basically just got one that is like a salmony pink, a light pink. I'll just put it on here on the back of my hand to just kind of show you. And it's a color corrector. So it is meant to go on to areas. Again, it's a cream. And then what I like to do is I like to just give one swipe. You could definitely use your fingers and just tap it in. It would be very easy. I like to use my number 14 Nikki LaRose, and then I just kind of like pat it in and I kind of bring it down. And again, less is more when you're in the 50 plus category for the eyes. Again, if you're like me, you just need to bring it down and just kind of like softly pat it and diffuse that kind of into under eye bag area. That's what I did for this makeup look, and I think it's more than acceptable. I think, again, it doesn't take away the wrinkles, the bags, and the puffiness, but it just kind of gives that overall cohesive look and does really go a long way to make your eyes just look brighter and like make you look like you're more awake. The next product that I think is important when you're just too exhausted to care is a little blush, because once you have that canvas with, you know, your foundation and you've got a color corrector or concealer on and it's brightened the face up, you need to add a little bit of life back into the face. And I love to do that, absolutely love to do that with any kind of cream or liquid blush. Again, I'm a huge Merit fan, so I just happened to pull this out, but if you've seen my videos, I have many blushes that are liquid blushes. This one is the Blush Bomb by Merit. They have numerous lovely colors, and what I like best about it is it's just a pot, so you can put your finger, you can tap it, and you can get just, but you can just kind of like just tap it on. And again, because it is a cream product, it just warms up to the sort of like heat of your body and naturally kind of deposits a little bit of color, and it just looks like so fresh and effortless, I think is the word that I like. And it really stays on very well, especially if you use a setting spray, like if I was doing this before I went on a shift at the hospital. But I mean, otherwise, it's just so effortless, so easy. And there's many. You, again, do not have to pay Merit prices. You can go into Sephora, you can go into Ulta if you're in the United States, you can go into any of the drugstores to get the drugstore cream products, and I'm sure that you will achieve the same effortless look. But it goes a long way to just bring back a little bit of color, a little bit of depth, and a little livelihood and energy to your face. And just to finish off the face, I'm not going to be including like bronzer, contour, eyebrow products, or eyeshadow or mascara, although I have mascara on for this day look today. I just want to finish off the actual face with a little bit of lip color. Now, I have always been that girly in my early 20s on that have loved, always loved a nice sort of like smooth and creamy lip liner to just kind of like highlight the lips. But when you're too exhausted to care, it just seems that extra step to have to just kind of like line your lips and then blend it and then put lipstick on and then maybe a gloss. Let's make it easy. I have not seen many people talk about this product, but let me suggest that this is amazing product, not for its longevity. So it's not going to be the hospital shift tried and tested lip color that's going to stay. This is for just the everyday, again, when you're too exhausted to care, but you're going out, you have to do something and you're out there in the public, you want to look like you've tried a little bit. This is the Comfy, it's called the Lassie tinted lip oil in the color rose. And this, you guys, especially if you're, fair skinned like me, is just the prettiest, softest lip oil. There's no even scent to it. You can just see it has a little bit of sheen. It's just a very, very soft blush color. You can see that it actually has a nice little sponge tip applicator. So it lets you get into kind of all the crevices of the lips. And you put that on. I do a little top up with a little Gisou watermelon lip oil, which has the iridescence in it. And that kind of like plays off of just natural ambient light. But you can see the base of this lip color. It is just so pretty, so effortless. The Lassie Tinted Lip Oils by Comfy. I got it at Sephora in the color rose. Any of these products you like, I will definitely leave the link down below. I hope you really enjoyed this quick video. I hope you're enjoying the rest of your Sunday and you have the most amazing, wonderful, relaxing, and productive week in the week ahead. And I will talk to you all next week. Bye-bye for now.